Alright, I gotta admit, as someone who is looking forward to the show Am I Actually the Strongest, I wasn't ready for how insane it was actually going to be, because that title is only the tip of the iceberg of I want your seed. Not many isekai reincarnation stories casually start with that. But you know what? This one did, and it immediately said, okay, this thing, don't even try to get up. Just sit down, because you're gonna fall on your ass at multiple points with the whiplash of how insane this actually became. You get reincarnated, not like they literally laid off Truck-kun. Truck-kun's not even around. He was just laying in his bed looking at his phone, gets reincarnated, born with a 1002 level, right? Yeah, we missed the mark, and maybe we missed some of the skills that this world needs. But because the reader only went up to, because the highest ranked ever was like 72 or something, they say, the king and queen immediately toss this kid into the forest, to which he finds a giant talking beast who then turns into a hot anime girl, because when he's like, hey, I need milk, I need breast milk, and she's like, you know what, I understand things, it only works if you put your seed into me. I'm like, ma'am, I understand you don't have human interaction, but you gotta chill. I was not ready for this. I was not ready at all. And this went from a show that looked funny on the trailers to a show I am dying to see more episodes of. So yeah, I recommend Am I Actually the Strongest episode 1. Full live reaction to this insanely entertaining episode is available on my Patreon if you would like to see my full uncut thoughts as I watched today's episode. I literally thought this would be a fine show, and I'm leaving it saying this is absolutely an excellent show for me personally. I like the fact that in terms of comedy direction, I think it honestly reaches a similar level to parody without actually being a parody. Like, there's some really fun humor in terms of just the initial interaction between the goddess and him, in terms of how, like, you know, just the idea of not even having Truck-kun come and he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna live out my best life. I'm gonna be an absolute recluse. I'm not gonna go outside. I'm gonna use these skills to have the laziest life ever. And then cut 5 minutes later and the goddess is freaking out, realizing that, oh shit, the world thinks he's super weak because they can't read his skills properly. And unless you're a beast, you're probably not gonna be able to see it. This show has charm. It really does. I think, honestly, I don't remember the last time I just casually have been like, man, talk about getting the short end of the stick, because usually, even if an isekai reincarnation character does have a shitty second time, it usually takes them over the course of the episode to get the rug pulled from underneath them. This show said, nah, the parents are happy, like, yeah, he's gonna be amazing. They read his skills. The first thought they're gonna say is, he died in childbirth. That is their solution to when they think their kid doesn't have magical abilities that are worth being a prince. He died during childbirth. So what do? They literally toss his ass into the forest. And if it wasn't for Best Bro Knight coming in, I mean, seriously, he would have been dead. Because let's just really consider the fact that Flay, this wolf girl, who absolutely loyal as can be, thinking that the second coming of Satan is before her eyes, she would have literally just had this baby starve to death because she would be trying to either get seed or to give breast milk that she doesn't have. And I understand how insane this sounds, but the show literally brought it up as a plot point, so I'm gonna discuss it as one. Thank God for our boy coming in, adopting both of them, and I'm excited to see, because the only thing I really knew about this was that I think the little sister becomes an Attackowl or something, and based on the opening, that really shouldn't be a spoiler. He's literally gaming on a couch with, I don't know if his abilities are going to be able to create things like this or what, but either way, it looks like she's going to be able to watch anime or something, whether that taps into his mindset. We're going to go a Tensura route, I'm not sure. Either way, there's going to be some fun insanity of something that he used to love in his original world, obviously being a part of this more fantasy one. The thing that was actually a pretty pleasant surprise that's a little more serious and not so, oh my god, this comedy's insane, is the power that he has. So these barriers, right? So he gets abandoned as a baby. Obviously, he can't talk. So how is he going to interact with anything? Well, he has these, like, barriers that are basically just cubes. And whether it's, like, attaching one end to another as, like, a big old phone, so if they're at a distance, they can keep talking. He puts one in, like, his throat so he can communicate. And how is he going to move around? He's a baby. Well, he puts a barrier around himself. And as we can see, now that he's a bit older and he was doing sword training with his dad, despite not wanting to do so and saying, hey, I just want to learn ancient magic. That's a good excuse of not leaving my room. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You can see that he can also enhance his own body or enhance the weapons that he uses. And obviously, we know it's not a misunderstanding. It's like the world thinks he's weak, but we clearly can see he has insane power. It's not just the 1002 level that he has that can't be read. Like, his abilities that he's already been working with are very impressive. But I like the idea that rather than starting the show off where, okay, everything is perfect for him, they immediately remove everything and make it seem the worst it could be. It's like even worse than his original life, but there's so much possibility for it to be his best second life ever and like surpass the first one 10 times over. And I'm excited to see, like, the idea of having like a fake version of himself that he's made but it can't really talk. There's a lot of really cool things that they've already kind of established with the magic system that he has going on. Add in a very fun family dynamic, if not goddamn, who didn't want someone like Flay when they were young being like waiting over them hand and foot. Like, this show's insane. It's comedy level, it has some perversion that I was not expecting. But the real star for me was how it just like, is like, hey, reincarnation in Isekai. I mean, we're starting the episode off with this loser guy just in his bedroom doing nothing all day. He's going to the store, he's getting hit by a truck. We know the formula. No, he's just playing on his phone. And he's like, hey, you're reincarnated, let's just move on. Oh, your new family, that's royalty, this looks great. Yeah, they're gonna toss you away because you died in childbirth. And then it's like, oh yeah, this hot anime girl, she wants to feed you her breast milk and wants your anime. Maybe anime's gone too far, but if that's the case, I'm here for the ride. That's all I'm saying. The voice actors clearly had a blast. I doubt they were bored recording these lines. It was very fun and charming. Some great VAs that I recognize, of course. I like the production style. The art style definitely makes it pop out differently, which I kind of figured it would just based on the trailer. There's nothing specific about it that makes it feel vastly different, but it feels like just the general color palette doesn't feel as bright or dark. It kind of has like this nice middle ground. I mean, it feels at times like, especially during like the sunset, like when they were dueling with their swords, like I swear to God, like they're one step away from being a pastel art direction. It's just, it has a nice vibe going for it. And I like the fact that it has as extreme comedy as a parody anime, but then it also just is doing its own thing with kind of reincarnation plot line. And I'm interested to see where the family bonds will go and how long until he comes face to face with the family that abandoned him and what he'll eventually do, because they're already teasing, like, from their point of view that he's a demon, right? And then already you're telling our girl that you're literally a devil. I mean, it just, things are gonna get worse before they probably get better, but I mean, for us as an anime watcher, that means it's gonna be entertainment gold. But hey, those are just my feelings. I mean, I love this type of humor. I absolutely do. That's no stranger if you follow any particular anime season. There's usually one show that cracks me up with its perverted humor. But goddamn, they knew what they were doing, especially when, like, that moment when he puts clothes on her and he's like, that's even worse, because at that point, you know, leaving things to the imagination and putting her in skin tight, like, what the hell is he doing? But you gotta admit, the show knew what it was doing. It was fun. It didn't try to shy away from the craziness, and for me, that made for an entertaining episode. Thoughts and feelings yourself on episode 1? Are you planning on watching more? Because I definitely am. And hopefully you'll be along for these videos, because I think this is going to be a blast to cover. So thoughts down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more. Am I actually the strongest on the channel? And like I mentioned, full live reaction to this episode and future episodes will be available on the Patreon. And hey, while you're there, you can also get a video shoutouts. So today we have Ivy Ortega, Jaxo23, Randomly, and Flippy Napkins. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.